Hello and welcome to this very special edition of India Now. I'm Supriya Shrinate. And what a day it really has been in Karnataka. Two people sworn in. HD Kumaraswamy comes back as Chief Minister for a second stint. And of course, Mr. G. Parameshwara gets sworn in as Deputy Chief Minister. It was a bevy of opposition leaders on stage with HD Kumaraswamy and Devagowda, from Sonia and Rahul Gandhi to Mamata Banerjee, Mayawati, Akhilesh Yadav, Tejasvi Pratap, Sharad Yadav, Ajit Singh, Sharad Pawar. So a whole host of opposition leaders, along with Sitaram Yechuri, of course, from the left, all making a beeline as far as Karnataka is concerned. The question really is this the big dress rehearsal for 2019, and is this the look of things and how things will shape up from here on? I've got four very special guests, and we'll hopefully be joined by all of them in just a bit. I've got Muhammad Khan representing the Congress, Shaina NC from the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari from the SP, and Sanjeev Srivastav, an expert political commentator on all of this. So it's only fair that I begin the show with you, Mr. Srivastav. You've got Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, Mayawati, Tejasvi Pratap, Akhilesh Yadav, all kinds of people on stage. A lot of bonhomie that one has seen while that oath-taking ceremony was on. I would say it's quite a show of strength as far as the opposition is concerned. Do you believe, given this grand display of unity on a public platform, are we looking at dress rehearsal 2019?
Well, that would be the best case scenario for the opposition, because it's one thing to go at a public platform, join hands and raise your hands together and give all the right optics and atmospherics. I know the thing is that if the circumstances were not such as they were now, when all of them realize that it's only united they stand, divided they fall, that only united can they take on the might of the BJP under the current circumstances. Otherwise, given the personalities on the stage, the kind of different temperaments, ego issues, one-upmanship, caste equations on the ground, you would have said that, all of these people coming together is really a tall order. But more difficult things have happened. Mayawati, Akhilesh have already shown the way in UP. JDS, Congress coming together have only further cemented that possibility of opposition coming together. So I think it's the survival instincts of the opposition, this motley group, which I think will make them bind together, and that will pose a very formidable challenge to the Prime Minister Modi and his party.
Talk about the Prime Minister and his party in just a bit, but the bonhomie that was on display saw Mamata Banerjee and Sonia Gandhi hold hands for very long. Sonia Gandhi hugged Mayawati as well. I'm just curious to understand, what is the Congress party making of this grand opposition unity? Because whatever you may say, what happened in Karnataka today was not a mandate that you won, Mr. Khan. The mandate was neither won by the BJP because they were short on numbers, and I'm glad they did not form the government because they would have resorted to all kinds of dirty tricks. But I'm not so excited that you've gone and formed the government, because the mandate was against you. People voted you out, and many will say you stole the mandate that wasn't really meant for you in Karnataka today.
Well, if we stole the mandate, as you say, then the BJP is far more guilty of that in 7 states: Bihar, Goa, Meghalaya, Tripura. I can name you 2 others. So there is a certain hypocrisy when the BJP makes that argument. In fact, in one of these states, they had 2 seats, and yet they went on to form the government. Every time they've turned convention on its head. But one thing about the Karnataka mandate, Supriya ji, that you would acknowledge, and I think this is the best analysis of it, it was a fractured mandate. If the people had voted to bring the BJP into power, the BJP would be in power. Because they fell short of the mark, 2 other parties who represent 56% of the public vote, one of which party actually has the largest vote share. So even if you go by the very base definition of democracy, which is the rule of the majority, then the BJP stands disqualified by 6 lakh votes, because we got more than them. So ultimately, I think things have unfolded as they should have. This is a sign of things to come, more so for the BJP, because they should realize their poor and extremely divisive brand of governance appeals to no one, and if they try and take the country in a particular direction, we will all stand together against it, regardless of our own personal political ambitions.
Let me take this across to the SP, and Akhilesh Yadav was there, raising hands with the fellow members from the opposition party. Ghanshyam Tiwari, is this a tried and tested template that you will put to use in 2019? This has been tested before in 1971, in 77, in 1989 under VP Singh, when a whole host of opposition parties got together under the principal poll party. At that time it was the Congress, it happens to be the BJP today. Is this a tried, tested sort of a template that you will try for 2019?
Yes, if you see the long trajectory of Indian politics, some aspects of it is tried and tested. But then we are also a country where millennials have a sizable population now. There's a new generation of politicians as well as voters that see a new aspiration in India. And that generation wants transparency in politics. If you come together in one forum, demonstrate trust in the constitutional bodies and show your agenda. They also believe that this government has failed to complete its own promises, to fulfill its own promises, even repeat its own promises. So on one end, you have Mr. Yediyurappa taking oath a few days back when nobody noticed. It was all as if he had reached the Raj Bhavan by mistake and he took oath in a hurry. And on the other hand, you have this entire set of parties coming together and demonstrating a strength, demonstrating mutual trust and conveying a message to the nation that we are in it to take the nation forward in 2019 in one voice, without egos and on an equal platform. If a similar gathering had happened under Prime Minister Modi, you would see that Prime Minister Modi has a tall seat. He stands with high stature while everybody else would have been bowing down to him. That Indian democracy respects unity and equality rather than one person trying to rise up as almost like an autocrat is something that Indian people will reject, and that is why these pictures are so important.
So we will have to see if the people believe that this equality and opposition unity will take on Mr. Modi. But let me take this across to the BJP, and while I'm not absolutely agreeing with what the opposition is saying, I also seem to think that the BJP is erring here. And Shaina NC is joining us on the phone line. And Shaina, is the BJP undermining the index of opposition unity? Because together with the first past the post system, they could well go past your numbers, even though your vote share may not erode. We've seen this happen in Bihar, the index of opposition unity. We saw it in Gorakhpur and in Phulpur. Are you erring and undermining the index of opposition unity?
Supriya, if I can just at the outset say that your premise is wrong, and followed by three logical arguments. First, if the opposition chooses to unite or not, if they try to play a battle where there is no ideology and unite, they will not be able to touch the leadership of our party. Prime Minister Modi and his charisma, the fact that he is diligent, hardworking, honest, coupled in one, and with extreme vision for implementing policies that percolate down to the common man. That is something that the opposition can never compete with. Second, our party president, Shri Amit Shah ji, and the organization is at its strongest. The fact that we have 11 crore members as cadre only shows you that we are a party that has emerged as the single largest party in the world. And then, to translate that down to votes, you need a loyal cadre of karyakartas that actually implement winning of elections by ensuring that we reach down to every single polling booth, not just in the country, but in areas where BJP was non-existent. It was very, very interesting in the UP elections, if I may say, that people voted not on the premise of caste, creed, community as they have done in the past. It was not a polarized battle. In fact, the Dalits and the Muslims voted for BJP, which made it such a historic win. And I'm sure that in 2019, if we've been able to win bastions like the Northeast, Jammu Kashmir, Assam, done so well in Karnataka, it is going to be a meandering effect all across the country, whether it's Jan Dhan Yojana, insurance schemes, pension schemes. All of that have actually made a difference to the life of the common man.
China NC believes that there are enough frontiers and enough bastions that the BJP can break into to ensure that it does have the numbers for 2019 as well. But let me take this across to Mohammad Khan. And Mohammad Khan, the Congress's mega comeback theory that was being peddled before Karnataka elections seems to have been busted a little, because the numbers didn't quite add up, and it once again perhaps shows that on your own you can't take on Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. The Congress on its own can't take on Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, and in many ways, more than one, the whole comeback theory, the upswing and all of that stands busted today.
Actually, Supriya, I would respectfully disagree with you, and I would take you back to August of last year, when the Modi juggernaut was at its peak. With these people such as Shaina ji, and you know, Shaina ji, I appreciate that you're loyal to your party, but every single thing you said is rhetoric. None of it is fact, and I'll come to that in a moment. But look at August. People are telling us you will get 40 seats in Gujarat. You, against the Modi machinery, no chance. Modi ji is flying in planes, he's awesome. And then comes the election. And we give them an assembly which is half Congress right now. Single digit shortfall, and in the seats, in almost 20 seats, the difference is less than 1,000. And you spent every single rupee that you could muster, because आपकी अस्मिता का सवाल था, गुजरात की अस्मिता का सवाल था, आप लोग ऐसे बोलते थे. After that, 6 by-elections to Lok Sabha seats. You lost all 6. We won 4. And Ghanshyam Bhai won the other. So I would tell you, the Ghanshyam Bhai's party won the other. Now I would tell you something, and you should learn from this. With Karnataka, where you again fought and tried to convince them of the Modi juggernaut, you would have to realize that the sheen and this entire जो झूठ आपने झूठ की बुनियाद पे अपना किला खड़ा किया था, that's fading. People are seeing through it. Modi ji can't go and talk about Tipu Sultan. Modi ji can't go and put pictures of his mother traveling in an auto. Modi ji can't talk about the fact that Thimaiya ji ne ye kaha, Karyappa ji ne ye kaha, Bhagat Singh ji ne kaha, and be wrong every single point of time. People see this. You have no one to blame but yourself. Yes, there is a new narrative emerging, Supriya ji. One where we must all stand together, because this man and his party is extremely well funded. They are completely devoid of moral compunctions. They spent the last week trying to come to power with every means, trying to prevent planes from taking off, removing guards from outside hotels, actually calling our people, which we released tapes from Yediyurappa's son, Gali Janardhan Reddy, Sri Ramalu, and they have the audacity to look us in the eye and give us lectures on morality. You, Amit Shah said day before yesterday, अगर आप बंद करके नहीं रखते तो हमारी सरकार होती. Wow, Amit Shah ji, what a great statement to make. अगर घर पे ताला नहीं लगा होता तो चोरी कर लेते.
Okay,
so, I'm sorry. We will stand against you and the brand of politics you practice. You better get used to it.
All right. So the opposition is determined to stand against the brand of politics that the BJP is practicing. But Shaina NC, I think I'm going to take a cue from what Mohammad Khan just said. And the halo and the sheen that the BJP had, that you were this clean party and the opposition was the one that was corrupt, seems to be very, very off, because your party tried its best to derail the alliance. But this time around, the task was beyond the formidable powers of political management. You were willing to resort to all sorts of dirty tricks yourselves to form the government in Karnataka. So while you have attacked the opposition for being opportunistic and corrupt, the voters perhaps have gotten to see a side of you that you did not want them to see. And that isn't a very good side.
Well, Supriya ji, if I may just please contradict you yet again very respectfully. Let's understand that this is the only non-corrupt government that the country has ever seen. 4 years down, no scams. More importantly, we have had the support of public, all age groups, whether it's the youth who's interested in jobs and better infrastructure, or whether it's senior citizens who felt they were ignored, or tribal women who were earning 8,000 and are earning 16,000. Whether it's Ujjwala scheme that has touched the lives of 6 crore households and women, or for that matter, if it is even, if you take as an example, what Prime Minister Modi has done to connect the Northeast with the mainland, which has been ignored for the longest time. I think that we need to give credit where it's due, and please, criticism can be concrete if it is legitimate. If it is just kind of rumor mongering and spreading all kinds of conspiracy theory to suggest that, oh, this is a communal party and this is a corrupt party, the public will not buy it, because they make sure that they see what they see on the ground. And on the ground, corruption has reduced. And on the ground, people are happy with this good governance model of a stable leadership, strong leadership, and more importantly, a deliverable on the ground of policies which we had not seen in the past.
You haven't answered my question that you were willing to resort to all sorts of tricks to form the government in Karnataka, and is that what the BJP of 2018 is? You're not the BJP of 2013 or 2008. But let me take this across to the SP. And, you know, one thing is very clear after Karnataka, Ghanshyam Tiwari, that the terms of this anti-Modi Grand Alliance, and you did see it in visuals also, if I can keep playing visuals from that swearing-in ceremony just for the benefit of our viewers, the bonhomie was all there. The Congress was trying to make a big effort to reach out to both Akhilesh and Mayawati and Mamata Banerjee, and I think Sonia Gandhi walked out herself to hug Mayawati and Mamata Banerjee. Is it also a fact now that the alliance will no longer be dictated by the Congress party? It is perhaps the regional parties that are going to call the shots. I mean, look at Karnataka and what has happened. The Congress has more than twice the number of seats that the JDS has, definitely twice the vote share, and yet they have ceded space to a regional ally there.
Well, you look at this picture and it says that everyone has an equal footing. Even here, you know, Mohammad Khan looks like a scientist who's trying to work out a social formula for alliance. So Congress is obviously ready for a new form of 2019 where parties will have an equal footing, and state after state, the question will be very, very simple. Who's a credible leader for that state around whom the people of the state will rally, who will promise that no, petrol should not be at 84 rupees when the crude oil prices in the world are at a moderate low. The rupee versus dollar should not be such a skewed. The Indian rupee has appreciated more than 6% just this year. So the BJP story of failure starts from the realm of economics to the realm of politics, to the realm of institutions, the way governor office was used, the way Supreme Court had to intervene, to the realm of real progress with respect to health, education. Look at where our educational institutions are. In this 4 years, every major educational institution across the country, be it JNU, IIT Madras, Hyderabad University, Jadavpur University, were attacked by people from supporting BJP. So the message that the opposition wants to give to the people is clear, that we are coming together in a transparent manner. Stage by stage, we will build an agenda. It will be agenda without ego, and it will be an agenda where every state leader as well as Congress as a national party will have an equal footing and will figure out a way that our egos do not come in the way in this unvote BJP campaign that is going to unravel very soon.
That's $1 million question. Can your egos be subverted, and can your egos be set aside as you come together to form this anti-Modi alliance? But Sanjeev Srivastava, coming to you, so much is being made about this opposition unity, but you look at states like a Madhya Pradesh, a Rajasthan, a Chhattisgarh, a Himachal Pradesh, an Uttarakhand, Gujarat. It really is a direct contrast between the Congress and the BJP. I mean, you know, there are no regional allies there are no regional parties. And then you have states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, where the BJP is not among the top two parties. And so isn't the idea of everyone else coming together to defeat the BJP in some sense, at one level, looking at the states that I just spoke about, also pointless?
Well, it's not pointless, Supriya, because what I am hearing is that even in states like MP, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, where Congress and BJP have had traditional one-to-one, it's been a two-horse race. This time the Congress, which is on a good wicket in states like Rajasthan, that I know very well, and Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh also, they have a fighting chance, and 3 times incumbency the local BJP government is facing. But it would still be advisable, and I learn that the Congress is trying to work out an alliance with parties which matter in these states, especially the BSP, and it makes sense for the Congress to tie up with BSP, especially in Madhya Pradesh and maybe also in Rajasthan, because it will help. It will consolidate the anti or non-BJP vote. But at the same time, what you were asking, Mr. Khan, of the Congress party, the Congress has to, I think the Congress has somewhere adjusted to the fact that it is no longer the Congress of maybe 2-3 years back also, or pre-2014. Now at best it can hope to be the first amongst equals. Otherwise all regional parties, because the regional parties have a better bargaining chip, they have realized that the Congress is desperate to get the BJP out, somewhere even more desperate than the regional parties. So the Congress has to surrender more in terms of space. That's a harsh fact. Another fact which was conveyed by the optics today somehow, that Sonia Gandhi continues to be very critical to the Congress scheme of things when it will come to alliance making, because she over the years has developed a personal kind of rapport, chemistry, and being a woman, the manner in which she can reach out to a Mamata Banerjee and a Mayawati, we all saw today. Rahul Gandhi was not looking that comfortable in that picture frame. Pictures, it's very difficult to deduct everything from pictures, but I just meant that it will be Sonia Rahul team as far as alliance making. It won't be just Rahul Gandhi, the new Congress chief. And the last thing, what the BJP says, and everybody agrees that in politics 2 plus 2 doesn't make 4. So a BSP, SP, RLD Congress alliance may not really add up to that vote share, 65% or 62%. But at the same time, 2 plus 2 definitely will add up to 3 or 3.5.
Sanjeev Srivastava, I have a very specific question on that. I have a very specific question to you a little later in the show on that. 2 plus 2, will it add to 4 on that? In just a bit, I will come to you. But I will take this to the Congress and then to the BJP. And Mohammad Khan, what Mr. Srivastava says is very true, that the bargaining chips seem to be with the regional allies right now. And the other fact is that who will lead this anti-Modi alliance? I mean, we did see, and Mr. Srivastava is absolutely right in pointing out, in the visuals on the screen to tell us, it was Sonia Gandhi who had the camaraderie, who had the comfort, who reached out. And yes, I mean, Rahul Gandhi perhaps is someone who's going to be under her shadow till such time that she's going to be around, politically active. But the question also is there a credible face as an alternative to Mr. Modi? And many of those leaders and the ideology who we saw on stage, aren't many of those leaders responsible for India veering towards Modi? Who is the credible face of this anti-Modi alliance? Mohammad Khan?
So luckily, Supriya, we have a year to answer this question. And as we've said again and again, as our political elders say, a year is a lifetime in politics. You will see the strategy unfold. You will see you'll see more and more dimensions of it emerge, more clarity will happen. I respectfully disagree with sir when he says that the body language was cold. I was on another channel before coming here, and their interpretation of the Jugalbandi being seen on screen was exactly the opposite. They said, look, there's confidence, there's bonhomie, and there are big smiles on everyone's faces, which led the BJP spokesperson to say, no, they won't survive 5 months. But I'm trying to tell you something else. I'm telling you that, look, the Congress is not a party that is politically as hungry or as desperate as the BJP to claw itself into power at all costs. The Congress realizes we are facing a battle at this point where something greater is at stake than our own political future. We could be very well equipped to take these people on by ourselves. But at this moment, at this point of time in history, we need to stand together against this violent idea that all institutions are for grabs, minorities are not to be protected, that you can deliver a very, very poor quality of governance and get by dividing the people on religious and caste lines. You can't do that. So therefore, something greater is at stake, and at times like this, we believe, regardless of political ideology, we must stand together. You see, as I said, right, Supriya ji, the next year will provide you with a lot more answers.
No, Mohammad Khan, I don't know if you heard me when I was starting the show, and I said that there was a lot of bonhomie that one did see in the opposition camp, and I think it's times like these that brought them together. My only question is who's going to lead that camp. But let me take this across to the SP, because I have a very pointed question for Ghanshyam Tiwari before I go back to Shaina and see. And Ghanshyam Tiwari, my question really is that what does this anti-Modi alliance stand for? What is the ideology except for opposing Modi? I mean, what is your vision for nation building or economic ideology? You are extremely different in your thinking, you are extremely different in your approaches to different subjects. What is it that you would want the republic to look like? I mean, what is the ideology? Is there a common ideology that you share other than the fact that you want to ally together to oppose Mr. Modi and his party?
Well, this is not an anti-Modi alliance. Prime Minister Modi is popular, and we believe that any Prime Minister is eventually representative of the entire nation. So the alliance that has come together is not about anti-Modi. It's about belief in constitution. It is about belief in better quality of politics that actually delivers on the ground. What has this government delivered in the last 4 years? They do not even repeat their own promise of Achhe Din. The day this government started, the Bure Din of people of India started. Look at where, as I said, where petrol is, where dollar versus rupee is, where the employment opportunity is. Any alliance that suggests or wants to be an alternative to this kind of government will have to promise better opportunities for the youth, will have to promise security to the women, it will have to promise income security to the farmers, will have to promise that politics will not be about grandstanding, it will be about cooperative federalism. You saw Chandrababu Naidu on that platform, who was voted with the same mandate that BJP got voted in 2014. Why was he on this platform? Because BJP sabotaged the idea of federalism, though being in alliance, though he was an alliance partner. So the fact that leaders, credible leaders from across the state are coming together is a direct message to every voter in that state, that your state is going to be a stakeholder in the India of 2019, which it was not in India of 2014, because one man wanted to be the magician. You look at a similar gathering that BJP puts together. In a similar gathering, everybody is tensed, every moment is scripted, and everybody is waiting for the emperor to stand up, wave his magic wand, and proclaim that all is well and India ka achha din aa gaya hai, ke achhe din aa gaye hain. This is not that kind of gathering. This is a gathering that is saying that we believe in democracy, we believe that there are credible leaders in every state, and we believe that the government must deliver without the magic of one emperor.
Without the magic of one emperor. But let's go across to the party that represents, according to you, quote unquote, that one emperor. And Shaina and see, while I think I'm absolutely right in asking both Ghanshyam Tiwari and Mohammad Khan on what the ideology of this anti-Modi bloc is, I'm tempted today to ask you, what do you stand for? Your relentless pursuit to form more government in more states of India almost smacks of a spirit of conquest. There is significant cost extracted on that account. You have shared elements that propel you to power. Clean, corruption-free, development-oriented agenda has all been compromised. All that you perhaps today represent is, and may I say this with a lot of responsibility, a harder form of Hindutva and the Prime Minister's personal appeal. Yes, he chooses to be leader number one, but that's all that there is to it. Will that be enough to make people repose their faith in you all over again in 2019?
Absolutely wrong again, Supriya ji. I mean, I hate to be just constantly contradicting you on every question, but the way you pose it to suggest that this is strong Hindutva. First, what does Hindutva mean? For 60 years in this country, we have only played vote bank politics. We have appeased segments and sections and kept them economically downward. We have not given them the opportunity to grow and to prosper. And Hindutva means justice to all and appeasement to none. For those who are trying to, make an issue out of nothing at all, which is communal in nature, I'd only like to say we're tired of this secular, pseudo-secular debate. I don't think we need to wear our nationalism on our sleeves, but we need to lead the thought process by proactive decisions that actually implement down to the common man. And that can only happen if you're secure, if you're educated, if you're economically empowered. We have seen previous governments that have only doled out freebies, subsidies, stop. What have we done? We have said, no, if you want to set up a business, take a mudra banking loan. If you want to ensure that you have no health hazards, think of our pension schemes, insurance schemes, all of which will hold you in good stead in the future. If there are youngsters who were originally only on jobs, this is the first time they've been given the opportunity through skills and vocational training to be self-taught entrepreneurs, which does not come under the gamut of your roll call or your database to suggest how many people are employed. So I don't think we need a certificate from this opportunistic alliances, which are only strange bedfellows and who wake up at the time
Okay.
of elections and their only lust is for power.
Okay, I really think that India in 2019 will not just question this anti-Modi bloc for their ideology, but will also question you on what you've delivered. But I'll give the final word not to a politician, but to the expert on this show. And Sanjeev Srivastava, over the long term, is such a unity of opposition also counterproductive? Because this does entail a high cost. Could BJP perhaps end up being the big beneficiary eventually, given that this alliance will give it inroads to expand further? A void may be created where many voters of some anti-BJP parties feel orphaned and they will veer towards the BJP, because the space vacated by the opposition would result in a long-term consolidation of votes. Many people believe in favor of the BJP. Are you one of them?
No. Because, see, in India, elections are not won, they are lost. And also, like I was saying in my previous answer, 2 plus 2 may not always become 4, but 2 plus 2 will not become 1.8. It will at least become 3 or 3.2. So, the tragedy of the BJP, if this opposition alliance holds together, will be twofold. Yes, the Prime Minister will be largely able to successfully make it a presidential form of election, but still the number of votes which he may poll may end up being less than the combined opposition's vote share. The sheer weight of caste and local equations, arithmetic is likely to ensure that. So that will be a difficult one. And the other thing, while I also love this cliche of there being an alternative narrative and being a positive narrative, and that the opposition just can't talk about, you know, what's wrong with the Modi government, they need to have their own agenda before the public. What really happens on the ground usually is that people just don't care. They just want to vote the person in power out if they have so made up their minds. That's what has always happened. What alternative agenda did a VP Singh have, or what alternative agenda did a JP have in 77? It was save democracy, which is kind of save democracy, work against corruption, similar kind of agenda right now. So all these things are cliches we journalists, you know, talk about, but in the end, when it comes to the ground, it's numbers game, largely religion. The only card which can beat religion is caste. So that's what we are going to see perhaps in 2019.
And what a bane of Indian politics that has been for years, but I guess that's the reality that we are going to see. But thank you very much, Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava, Ms. Shaina NC, Mr. Mohammad Khan, and of course Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, for putting your minds together and discussing Modi versus the rest. This really is the united colours of opposition that one did see in Karnataka. We believe this is perhaps the tried and tested template that the opposition will come together and use in 2019. Can they beat the well-oiled, ruthless political machinery of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah on their ground on this one? One will have to wait and watch, because India will vote in 2019 and India always votes wisely. Thank you very much for being with us.